An all-new season of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
Mom Talk has just been blowing up.
Whitney and Jen are on Dancing with the Stars.
Taylor is a bachelorette.
Saying that out loud is crazy. Like, that is huge.
But all the cool opportunities could pull us apart.
It's causing issues in everyone's marriage.
My whole world is falling apart right now. It's chaos.
Watch the Hulu original series, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to another Find the Edge production for the Premier League Cricket Club. Connecting players and coaches, clubs and leagues, volunteers and supporters alike, you're in the right place for the best of the 33 ECB Premier Leagues and the 20 NCCA counties, bringing you the stories, the stats and the standout performances that make this game great. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to both our Premier League and NCCA shows so you don't miss any episodes. Now, shall we get stuck in? So welcome again, everyone, to the Captain's Table at the Premier League Cricket Club. And once again, we're doing another pre-season preview ahead of the 2026 season. And today, joining us from Beverley Town in the Yorkshire North Premier League, we've got Joey Franklin. Now, before I say hello to Joey, I've got to say, they were relegated in 2023, promotion back in 2024, and it's fair to say they just about managed to stay up in 25 for 26 after an unbelievable second half to last year. We'll come to that in a second, but just have to say, how's it going, Joey? You getting ready for the season, mate?
Yeah, all good, thanks, Ian. How are you, mate?
Yeah, all good. Can't wait for cricket to bloody start because, as we've been talking off air, life gets in the way of cricket, doesn't it, sometimes?
It does. Yeah,
definitely.
We're looking forward to it. Ground's sort of starting to take shape now. Now we've got some good weather, so yeah, really looking forward to it.
It's amazing. Is it just amazing how much more sunshine we've had already compared to February and January? It's just ridiculous.
It is, yeah. We was sort of a couple of weeks ago, we was sort of thinking, we're struggling here, but yeah, we've had some sun, we've had some wind. So yeah, sort of 4 weeks to our first game now. So I think by that time we'll definitely be ready.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, let's quickly look back at last year. I hate to do this to you, but you started actually really decently. Won 4 of the first 7 games, including beating York and Driffield Town, who came 3rd and 4th. So you must have got, going into sort of mid-June, you're thinking, we're doing all right here. But what does Saturday the 28th of June last year mean to you?
I think was that Driffield?
It was Clifton Alliance, the last game you won.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. The 5th game of the 6th. So you'd won 5 by the end of June, which, let's be brutal, if you'd have just won another 1 or 2, comfy, no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
But being a Beverley Town player, man and boy, was it purgatory, the next 9 losses in 10 games with 1 abandonment? Was that just an absolute bloody nightmare for you?
It was, yeah. We had, not go into it too much, but we had a lot of things off the pitch going on. We had lads not available. Our overseas picked up an injury at Drift. I think it was the week after. So a lot of things just happened at once. We lost Jamie, Jamie Rowe, vice captain. He just had a newborn baby. So at that time, we all at once. I think we just spoke about things happening in threes and exactly what happened. We lost two or three wicket keepers with injuries, not available. So we actually had to, halfway through the season, we actually had to go to another club and sign a wicket keeper because we had no one to do it. So yeah, just a lot of things happened. And And as well, just off the pitch was a lot of noise, and that sort of transpired onto the pitch as well. And we just sort of got on a bad run, and it just continued. Yeah.
Yeah, after you win your 5th game against Clifton Lions, you must have been thinking halfway through the season there, or not quite, almost halfway through, thinking this Premier League lark, it's not too bad actually. We're doing all right, aren't we?
I couldn't believe it. Like you say, we beat York, we beat Drift, we beat Clifton. 3 teams who have obviously won the leagues in the last 10 years. So I knew we were punching above our weight. I was aware of that, but I think after the Clifton game, I sat with the lads in the change room. I said, we're 5th after 10 games. And above us was Driffield, Sherifford, York and Cass, which, I think was an unbelievable start to the season. Yeah. But after that, it was certainly downhill.
9 losses in 10 games with 1 abandonment. But thankfully, correct me if I'm wrong, last day of the season, you had one of your biggest defeats against Clifton Lions. They got revenge. The game lasts just 44 overs in total. They've hammered you. But you were thankful of abandonment down the road at Sesse. And Sesse had batted and scored a reasonable score in their game. But when the game got abandoned, happy days, you're up, aren't you?
So we was actually up the week before, Ian.
Was it?
So, we managed to get 4 points at Woodhouse. The week before that, it was Woodhouse. We played Cass the week before.
But what if they'd have got 10 points on that last game of the season? They'd have overtaken.
I think we'd still have been all right.
Ooh.
I'm sure we would have been.
He's just checking the scores now.
I think they might have got... Did they get 4 points? I can't remember.
They were on 62 at the end of the season. You were on 70. So if they'd have got that final game as a 10-0...
They'd have only got 6 extra points if they got rained off. So I think would have been all right.
Okay. So you were just there and thereabouts. But the last couple of weeks were squeaky bum, to say the least.
Absolutely. Yeah, we was at Woodhouse, and I am not joking you. I sat with our new wicketkeeper, Mitch, and it was a rain-affected game, and we was working out DLS every single ball.
Really?
We needed 4 points to stay up. Yeah, every single ball we worked out, and we managed to get it.
Was Finchy and the boys just looking at you like shaking their heads going, what's going on here?
Yeah, we actually came off a rain, and a gentleman's agreement was made. So that's all I'll say.
Well, but you know what? Sometimes you can get on and sometimes you can't. It's as simple as that.
We wouldn't have got back on anyway. So
exactly. And I saw that happen myself a couple of times last year, which was very unusual because we had such a great summer, obviously. I did see one game where they tried to get back on to basically get up to 5 overs in a T20 and were washed out with 1 ball to go. And you'd have never got... let's be honest, they couldn't have bowled them any quicker, is the best way to put it. But it just happens, and that's cricket, and we have to live with it, don't we?
Yeah, we would have. Yeah, it was good. It was sort of... Finchy was really good with us, and we were never getting back on that game. And I think we only lost by 15 runs, I think, on DLS. Yeah. And we had 2 set batsmen both on 50, so it was a good chance we could have won anyway.
I was going to ask you that about, when I look at the losses during the season, there was only 2 big ones, really. The rest of them, you were competing. I mean, you had 3 batters in the top 30. You had 2 bowlers in the top 15, including yourself. No, so it's not like you were literally struggling. Was there a bit of bad luck along the way when it comes to all the injuries, when it comes to losing people? Or was it just making the wrong decisions sometimes, for example?
Yeah, I think... sort of a number of those things. Yeah, I think some of the batsmen, they had sort of okay seasons. I think Jacob, who was sort of get onto the overseas, Jacob Cumming, he had a great first start to the year. I think he was top 3 run scorers in the league, and then he got an injury and fell down, and it all just happened at the same time. I think as well, we weren't getting numbers to training sort of back end of the year, obviously because we were losing and there weren't that sort of competitiveness there. And just sort of the backup, we were asking lads to come up. We're asking 14, 15-year-olds who, they're good players, don't get me wrong. They all play for Yorkshire, but in the age groups. But we just didn't have that sort of strength and depth. And that's something I've certainly looked at over the winter. And I think you guys have been busy in my DMs asking who we've signed and what transfers we've done, which we needed it. I think over the last sort of 5 or 10 years, we have lost a lot of players for various reasons. So, yeah, sort of a number of those things is probably the reasons why we went on a bit of a losing streak.
Yeah, and I mean, with the respect to 14 and 15-year-olds coming to play Premier League versus top quality age group cricket, it's a step still, isn't it? I was going to ask you that in terms of you guys had gone down the previous year and come back up again. What did you find the biggest difference was in the Premier League? And I always try and explain this to people around the country when they ask me the question. The biggest difference between Premier League cricket and just one division down below. Is it generally down to that one word that you've used, depth?
Yeah, I would say so. I think if you have a few lads unavailable and you're asking second teamers to come up and do a job, if you've got that strength and depth, that's where, yeah, you'll probably see yourselves come back up. I think availability as well is massive. If you can sort of, I would say, I think like Cass, they do it really well. They use 14 or 15 lads all year.
Yeah.
I think if you looked at ours, I think last year was maybe 25. So I think if you can get that core group really, really good. I think the year we were quite lucky when we came back up. The league that we play in, they decided to restructure. So we was actually split into a Championship East.
Yeah.
So it was a lot easier than it would have been last year. So we was quite lucky. So we managed to bounce up straight back up on the last day, which was a dramatic day in itself. Straight a shootout with Flixton, which we managed to win, and straight back up into Yorkshire League. So, and then obviously survive the skin of our teeth last year. So yeah, I would say depth.
As you find in the Premier League, that depth makes such a difference in terms of every club, instead of having 3 or 4 top batters, have got 5 or 6. Instead of 2 or 3 top bowlers, they've got 4 or 5.
That's right.
It then means that you know, if things start going wrong, you get punished far quicker. And if things start going right for the opposition, they can just be away from you. That's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah, I think as well, it's like in the top league, you're getting really good batsmen coming in at 7 or 8.
Yeah.
You think you've got them 5 down, and then someone will come in and play an unbelievable innings at 7 or 8. I think that is the difference. It's just having that batting lineup all the way down to sort of 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll come to your transfers in a second, but at the end of the season then, and you know, let's be honest, avoiding relegation, you know, it's the phrase that no one wants to use, but did that force some honest conversations around the group, around the club, in terms of the standards, in terms of the depth, maybe even down to, and sometimes it's one of these things where one of the lads who chips in needs to chip in a bit more, for example. Did those conversations happen? Yeah,
I think at the end of the year, I think for me especially, I needed some time to sort of go away and sort of think about what we need to look at. So I think I put my phone down, nothing to do with cricket for maybe about 6 weeks, 6 or 8 weeks. I needed it. I sat down with the chairman and all the other captains from the club. I remember we went to his house and it was about November time. And we sort of said, look, what do we need to do as a club? Where do we see ourselves in sort of 5 years' time? And the main thing I highlighted was we've lost a lot of players over the last couple of years. The first thing we need to do is bring some people in. Yeah. We'd already arranged Jacob to come back. I'd already arranged that in sort of, I think it was June, July time. So we'd already know who we were getting back, which was important to us. The first time we've actually got someone back as an overseas. Just for that consistency with the lads, and people at the club know who he is. So then conversation was definitely had, and how do we come an established club in Yorkshire League? We don't want to be sort of that yo-yo club dropping down. We've got amazing facilities, constantly improving. So we want to be able to be a sustainable club in that top league.
Yeah, and we were talking about it off air, weren't we? In terms of facilities, you guys are second to none. You know, when you look at the size of the place that you've got in terms of all that facilities, the opportunity to play football, to play tennis, you got the 2 cricket pitches, you said you got paddle courts going on there now. God knows you'll have everyone bloody playing paddle permanently. The whole world seems to be doing it at the moment. Yeah, that's the sort of club that effectively can be the heart of not only the town but heart of the league, can't it?
Yeah, that's right. We've got paddle going in. So I think it's hopefully back end of this year. We're very lucky. There's things we need to sort of improve, and to be able to get lads down there, I think it is important that you have good facilities. And that certainly attracts people to the club.
Definitely. So I think, you've hit the nail on the head there. The biggest decision and the simplest decision to a certain extent, Joey, was getting Jacob back. He's experienced in this country. So important to have him, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this will be his fourth year in the UK.
Yeah.
And he's only 22, I think. I think he's just turned 22 back end of last year. So he's just getting better. Been watching him over the winter. It's quite good. His games start at 9:30, so I can always sort of get on the sofa and watch him stride out to bat. But yeah, he's a quality cricketer. I think halfway through last year, and why we were so successful was because he was doing so well. We have rankings in our league, and he was at the top of the rankings for a number of weeks. So getting him back was a big thing for us. Yeah,
and for a club of any size in the Premier League, let's be honest, one of the most difficult jobs you have to do is finding that overseas, that professional, whatever you want to call it. That says it all. Every league changes what they call it to start with, and the rules and regs that you almost need to know on a year-to-year basis that are changing.
Yeah, absolutely. So we work with CricX, with Taff and Steve Hurst, and they do a great job for us. There's myself and Jamie who look after it, and there's so much paperwork you have to do these days. It is honestly crazy. So I think November time, I sort of reached out to CricX and said, look, we've got Jacob back, all sorted. And I think just until now, we've managed to get sorted club endorsements, sponsorships, visas. It is endless. It is a full-time job, I would say.
It is, and I can see that. I mean, we joke about it semi-seriously half the time, but it is a serious thing that every league has different rules. There's a player playing in the Home Counties League this season, 2026, who wasn't allowed to play in the Cornwall League last year because he played too many first-class games. He's playing same country, but he could do one and not the other. And you've all got to almost gen up on that year in, year out. But thankfully, as you say, use CricX. Yeah, they're the ones who have to know every league inside out, left, right, and centre, don't they?
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to have one without their support because there's so much things you need to know. And so yeah, they've been great with us.
Absolutely. But talking of other transfers, yeah, you guys have kept us busy. Alistair Cooper, Jack Steele, Ben Hatfield, Joe Dale, Callum Carter, some Premier League experience there, which I think is always good, but also some players just making that step up, haven't they? And I think one of the ones you're excited about the most, Jack Steele, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. So I've known Jack for a long time now. And he's just, every year we look at his stats, see how he's getting on. We've sort of been in his ear the last 2 or 3 years. So finally, he's managed to sign on the dotted line. He's actually in Oz at the minute. So hopefully we can get him back with all the travel in time ready for the season. But yeah, I played a night game against him last year and he smashed me everywhere. So after that, I was like, yeah, we need you on board.
It's amazing how many captains come onto this show and talk about people they've bowled against or battered against and gone, we'll have him, thank you. It's no difference to top-end Premier League football, top-end cricket. You see something in someone, don't you? And if they're just down the road from you, as he is at Welton, it does help. Who else are you excited about joining the group?
So obviously I've got written down here, I've got Joe and Ben back, which when we came up a few years ago, they were a massive part of the team. So I played a lot of cricket with them, and it was sort of just reaching out to them. And they both sort of didn't play last year much, so obviously excited to get them back. A lad called Sam Graham from Sutton, so sort of got speaking to his brother last year, and just said, I think Sam's looking at maybe going somewhere else, and I've had good reports from Sam, from our second team play against Sam. Yeah. So I sort of spoke to a couple of the lads from second team and they were like, yeah, sort of try and get him on board. So really pleased we've got him. We sort of lacked seamers over the last couple of years. So we got Billy Einson in last year from Pat. And this year we've got Sam. So sort of our seam attack is slowly but surely sort of building. Sure. And it's just that when Billy's not available, we've got Sam as an option as well. So yeah, it's nice to have just a bit of strength and depth.
Absolutely. And looking around the rest of the league, is there anyone you've seen making transfers or bringing people in or lost people in where you've gone, that's an interesting one. There's been quite a lot of movement in the Yorkshire North, and if would I be right in saying I think there's been more of people bringing championship players through this year. There seems to be people looking down below. And is that then building the depth in their squads?
Yeah, I think so. We did the exact same. I was sort of looking at the league below and see who's done well in the league below. As well, local lads who might not be able to play Yorkshire League cricket at their clubs and wanting to just test themselves a little bit more. So, but yeah, sort of the one that stands out in our league is obviously Pep Laquaya at Carlton Towers overseas. So that is obviously a huge signing for them. So looking forward to seeing him at Norwood in May. Owen Smith to Cass, I noticed they've lost a few players. Liam, Chris Holiday going to somewhere, I can't believe I can remember what they're called.
Going to the Huddersfield League. Yeah,
Huddersfield League. So obviously they're big losses for them, but they've recruited really well. And one that sticks out for me really is Sheriff Hutton signing Alex Jenkins from York and Connor Hyde from Cass as well.
Yeah, the Connor Hyde one took me completely by surprise. Great move for Connor, obviously. And he's going to have Bumble in his ear week in, week out when he gets up to Sheriff Hutton, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a great signing for them, to be honest. He can bat, he can bowl, he can field. So
exactly. And you've been around Beverley a long time now. You've been around those top two divisions effectively for a long time now. Overall, do you think the strength of the Yorkshire League, North League, is getting greater and greater and greater year in, year out?
I would say it's getting better, yeah. I think there's more lads locally who are wanting to play Yorkshire League cricket. Certainly the lads who I speak to at our club as well, we want to stay in that league, and it's important to us that we stay in that league. Getting people down to watch and just having these conversations, really. It's a lot more professional, and I would definitely say that is the case, yeah.
Okay, so looking ahead to 2026 season, you're in one of the most competitive leagues, I believe, in the country. What are the standards you're expecting, and where do you secretly think, now that you've had a year in and you know what's cracking off, where do you think secretly you might surprise one or two people?
I don't know about surprise, because I think a lot of the clubs, they know we're capable now. I think certainly back end of the last season we saw that. We saw your bigger teams thought, oh, these can turn us over. Especially at home, I do think we're pretty good at home. We have, recent years we have struggled away, but certainly at home we do fancy our chances. Quite a big ground, sometimes a tricky pitch, depending on what week you get on it. But training is massive for us. We have 5 Saturday teams. I don't think there's many across the country who will have 5 Saturday teams, which is crazy. And we have a Sunday team as well. So as you can imagine, training is absolute carnage. We get 35, 40 lads down on a Wednesday night, which is great. So managing the lads' expectations at training and just accountability as well for when we're there on a Saturday is just take responsibility and obviously doing things outside of cricket as well to help the games. But I think the league are fully aware we sort of mean business, and we want to keep pushing as a club, really.
Every team's got danger men. Some they might know, some they might not. But the people who listen to this show and people who read about us online, etc., who should they be circling their notebooks and thinking, hang on, keep an eye out for this one, a batter and bowler maybe?
From us, I would certainly say Jack, because a lot of clubs won't have seen Jack. So I would say him as a batsman. And bowler-wise, probably throw Sam out there as well. New signing. I haven't seen a lot of Sam in games, but what I've heard is good reports. So definitely think, he'll be a bowler as well.
And around the league, is there anyone that you've seen come into the league from the outside in particular that you've thought, looking forward to seeing them?
Nathan Johnson going to York's an interesting one. Obviously, our neighbours at Zingari, but I think Nathan it's a tough pitch to bowl on at York. So I'm sure they'll
paradise.
I'm sure they'll wrap the runs up for him there. But it's a great track at York. So I think Nathan took 40 odd wickets last year. So it'll be interesting to see his returns this year. And I would say Owen Smith to Cass, which obviously on Yorkshire's books, and he was at Barnsley. I played against him last year actually. Managed to get him cheaply, but you could just tell he was a class.
Absolutely.
So there's certainly going to Cass. And then obviously just the other ones that we've touched on as well.
Yeah, I think the one I'm looking forward to seeing, it was only announced in the last week or so, is Wakas Khan, who's coming from Thongsbridge in the Huddersfield League to Hull Zingari.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
And I do enjoy when people go from one league to the other, because you can really start to see what the differentials are. But, he's got a great reputation down in the Huddersfield League, so that's a really interesting one to keep an eye out. And George Hanson, coming from Clifton Alliance to Sheriff Hutton Bridge.
I saw that.
So there's been some moves around the league that have been a bit surprising, but every league has it every year. And do you think this, shall we call it, this merry-go-round of movement is just getting greater and greater every year?
Yeah, I think as well, the clubs that are coming up, they're recruiting. So obviously like Carlton and Stamford, they're coming up this year, and Carlton probably getting the best overseas in the country that you could get. Obviously shows that the strength of the league. And Stamford, they've signed Freddie Collins and Alex Lilly. I played against Alex last year, and he got 100 at Beverley, and he was awesome. Nearly pushed winning the league with Sheriff, and he's gone to Stamford. So it's the lesser clubs and the clubs that are coming up that they seem to be strengthening as well, which obviously makes the league even stronger and harder for us to be sustainable in the league as well.
100%, definitely. Right, so we're coming towards the end of our chat now. Let's set what I like to call the tone for the season. You're not allowed to hedge. You're not allowed to give me a cliche. You're not allowed to say, da. What does success look like for Beverley Town this year?
I think success for us would to have a little bit of a cup run. I think our cup record's not great. We struggle to get lads out on a Sunday for various reasons. But yeah, it would be nice to have a little bit of a cup run, and then obviously be sustainable in that league. I don't want to say avoid relegation because it does sound a little bit negative, but that is our aim. If we finish third bottom, I'm happy. I'm sure the lads want to push a bit further than that, but I would take that now. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, the avoid relegation one's one that you don't want to say, but you've got to look at how competitive the league was last year. And between you guys in 10th place and Harrogate in 6th place, there was less than 3 wins. So, it's that close, isn't it, in the Yorkshire North League? And it's, Hugh and I look at it year in, year out, which is the most competitive. It's definitely up there.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. Reports from lads that have been at other clubs as well, yeah. It's a strong league. You play against some unbelievable players. So, no, it's great to be a part of.
Okay, finally then, where's your money for champions of the Yorkshire North Premier League this year? No sitting on the fence.
Yeah, I was thinking this last night. I knew you'd ask me. It's got to be between top 3, Cass, York and Sheriff. Them 3 will be the top 3. I'm going to go with a little bit of an outsider, like a bit of a gamble at Cheltenham last week. I'm going to go Sheriff Hutton.
Did you win at Cheltenham last week though?
Did all right on Friday, served me quite well. So
that's all right. So Sheriff's worth going for then.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll go for Sheriff. I think they've recruited really well. Alex Jenkins, who was at York, and Connor Hyde. So I think they'll win it.
That's great. Hey, thanks, Joey, for joining us at the captain's table. Best of luck at 2026. We'll be keeping an eye on that first 7 games and see if you have the same start as you had in 2025. Fingers crossed it's just not the same second half, eh?
Yeah, fingers crossed. Cheers, Ian.
So it's time for teammates once again. And as you all know, we love our T10 cricket. So 10 questions. Joey Franklin, let's get to know the boys at Beverley Town. Who's most likely to be late?
Jacob Hunter.
Who's most likely to go on a reality show?
Adam Pashby.
Who's most likely to throw a bat?
Jamie Rowe.
Who's most likely to ignore a WhatsApp?
Will Parker.
Who would you never want to share a car with?
Adam Pashby.
Who spends the longest on their hair?
Jamie Rowe.
Who's most likely to wind you up or start an argument?
Matty Saint.
Who's the one person you would not get to organise a team night out?
Will Parker.
Who's most likely to Google themselves?
Jacob Cumming.
And finally, who's the most famous person in your phone book that you'd invite to come and play for Beverley Town?
Stephen Mullaney.
That's teammates at Beverley Town. Cheers, Joey.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us at the Premier League Cricket Club. We'll be back soon with more from the world of Premier League and NWCA cricket. But in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review and follow us wherever you get your socials. Or maybe check out our website, premierleaguecricket.co.uk, to stay updated. Until next time, have a good one.